I'm here today with Jamie Englert. Jamie is the director of JFCS Immigration Legal Services. How you doing today, Jamie?
I'm good, Jordan. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. So today we're going to talk about immigration, and we're going to talk about the work that your department does. I know that life has become a lot more complicated in the past few years for immigrants who come to this country to build new lives for themselves. What are some of the main changes that you've seen, and how has your team been able to assist immigrants get through some of these challenges?
Right. So the last few years have showed us a whole lot of changes and a whole lot of anti-immigrant sentiment, which has all but eliminated some pathways for folks to stay here and has narrowed some of them. The biggest challenges that we're seeing, other than trying to stay on top of all of the changes and advise our clients whether they should be applying for something or should not, are the waiting times. The waiting times have always been long, but especially due to COVID and the government being shut down for a short period of time, and the courts are still not always having hearings for people that are not detained. That has caused even longer backlogs.
So when you say waiting times, you're talking about waiting for what?
So, an average immigration court case prior to COVID and the Trump administration could take up to 4 or 10 years. Now, people are getting their next hearing set out 2 and 3 years in advance, and it takes multiple hearings to get through that process. So, we don't even know yet how long those court cases are going to be extended, but it's going to be significant. The other place where we're seeing longer wait times are with USCIS applications. When people apply for benefits through USCIS, for example, a refugee that's applying for a green card or a permanent resident that's applying for citizenship, previously those wait times were considerable, 4 to 6 months on average. Now we're seeing 8 months, 9 months, a year. And I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Due to the volume.
So with these longer wait times and the large numbers of immigrants in our region who are coming to you and your team for assistance, I know you have a really small team. So how are you able to help all the people who are coming to you seeking help?
Some of the things that we've implemented are recruiting and training pro bono attorneys to handle cases on a pro bono basis. We've partnered with law firms, we've partnered with individual attorneys, and if they have a particular interest in asylum law, or if they have an interest in working with a victim of human trafficking, or if they want to help an unaccompanied child navigate the family court system and they have that training, we throw them in the deep end. We give them a continuing legal education training, which is that's the credit that lawyers need to have a certain number of credits every year to maintain their license. We do a training, we provide them with that credit, and then we mentor them through the life of that case that they take on. The other way that we have worked to sort of broaden our reach to serve more people is through community volunteers. For people that are not attorneys but still want to help, obviously they can't represent a client from start to finish, and if they're not a lawyer or an accredited representative, but we put together community events where we train preparers. We call them preparers because their function is to help an immigrant complete an application for immigration benefit. So we train our preparers, we set them up and partner them with an applicant for a particular type of function. So, for example, citizenship. We have 100 people that want to become US citizens that are eligible, that are permanent residents and ready to take that step. We might match 10 preparers with 10 applicants. In pre-COVID days, we would have a workshop, a clinic day in the afternoon at a library or at some large functional space, sit them down, pair them up with JFCS staff overseeing and available to answer all of those legal questions that come up, of course. And then JFCS, after that clinic day, after that workshop, will take those applicants and mentor them and represent those clients through the rest of their process. But what it allows us to do is we can harness the community engagement and get a large number of applications completed in an afternoon so we can serve larger numbers of folks.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people in our community who care passionately about immigrants, about the foreign born in our community, and would love a way to help. And so it sounds like there are some ways, maybe now with COVID it's more complicated, but there are some ways that we can really benefit from those well-meaning individuals in our community who want to help provide immigrants with some support. That's great. This is such emotionally intense work. How do you and your staff kind of hold it together, maintain your motivation? What do you do to keep you going, especially during this environment that has been very challenging up until now?
What keeps my team and I moving and focused and, dare we say, optimistic, even during these challenging times, is knowing the impact that it makes on our clients' lives. When we successfully get a client through this system, it means that a huge problem area in their life has been resolved. It means that they get that green card or they become a citizen and they don't have to worry about being returned to a country where they don't feel safe or want to return. It means that they don't have to worry every day about ICE coming to pick them up at work or what's going to happen to my family if I go, if I get deported. It means that people can live in peace and they can go ahead with the next chapter of their lives without that hanging over their heads. And that is a huge, huge motivator.
Well, thank you, Jamie, for the work you do, for the work that your team does to help these incredibly vulnerable members of our community every day.
Thank you.